Since 1974, MCEA has a long history of defending and protecting Minnesota's environment. Whether it is developing policies that keep our water and air clean, or leading efforts to accelerate the retirement of old and inefficient coal plants, MCEA uses law, science, and research to protect Minnesota's environment, its natural resources, and the health of its people. It is the only environmental organization in Minnesota that has a team of lawyers, scientists, and technical experts on staff, and can work effectively in all three branches of government.
MCEA, we think of ourselves as a grass tops organization, not a grassroots organization. And what that means is that we don't turn people out for events, for rallies at the Capitol. Instead, we apply our legal and technical expertise to persuade decision makers. We partnered with several groups on energy issues for years. Fresh Energy, the Center for Energy and the Environment, Wind on the Wires, and Sierra Club. And these are all organizations that help us get the word out on what we do, on the importance of energy issues across the state.
Most recently, we agreed to represent Friends of the Headwaters in their fight to permit the Sandpiper pipeline in a location in Minnesota that was not as environmentally sensitive as where it was proposed to be located. We took that up to the Court of Appeals of Minnesota, and the Court of Appeals agreed with us that environmental review of a pipeline like this was really crucial, and it had to be done before the permitting process. Just this month, the company that was proposing that pipeline announced that it was no longer seeking regulatory approval for that pipeline in Minnesota. So we had a really good outcome with that case.
MCEA has been part of every major transportation funding campaign for the last 15 years. And as part of that, we were able to secure a regional sales tax for Metro Transit, which helped pay for a number of things, including the construction and operation of the Green Line. As we were working on that, a number of community organizations were very concerned that they were not being represented in the line. This was particularly important for this stretch of University Avenue because these communities had been destroyed by the construction of Interstate 94 in the 1960s. So having been physically displaced once, they were concerned about being economically displaced by light rail. It wasn't just a matter of changing the project itself. In order to make it work, we had to change federal policy for how all projects like the Green Line were going to be ranked and funded. We ran down the FTA administrator at a conference, physically found him at a Starbucks, pulled him out. We showed him our maps, and based on that, in about 2 months' time, we were able to get a commitment from FTA. Those three stations have passed their daily ridership projections for 2030 by 250%.
The biggest threat to the Boundary Waters currently are proposals to build copper and nickel mines and sulfide ore right on the edge of the Boundary Waters. And this is a really multifaceted and complex legal, regulatory, and scientific problem. We stand at the top of three of the greatest watersheds in the world. We have North America's greatest river, the Mississippi, which starts at Lake Itasca and flows thousands of miles to the Gulf Coast. We have literally the world's greatest lake in our backyard. These are incredible watersheds that about 2/3 of the continent relies on. And that makes us uniquely responsible as stewards to those watersheds. It also gives us the privilege of being able to enjoy them, to be able to reap the benefits of having all of that clean water right here in Minnesota.
I've been on the board of MCEA for 4 years. And one of the connection points around clean water for me really comes back to the Boundary Waters and the time I spent there growing up as a child with my family, and now the time that I spend with my kids, 2 little girls, in the Boundary Waters. To see them engage with our experiences in the wilderness, in clean water, fishing, swimming, playing on the beach is really why this work to get involved with MCEA I feel is so important. So donations to MCEA directly support the work, the good work that MCEA is doing each and every day. And we truly couldn't complete our work if it wasn't from that very valuable group.
There are a lot of environmental organizations. Some of them work to protect places, and some of them serve a more broad general service role. That's what MCEA really is.